So the most important responsibility you have is setting goals in the first place. Goal achieving seems to be automatic. It's the goal setting that you are responsible for. The incredible thing about goals mastery is that it's really life mastery. And the sooner you begin to develop successful habits, the sooner you'll reap the financial, personal, and professional rewards that go along with them. The fact is that you have enormous untapped potential. You could be earning 3, 5, maybe 10 times what you're earning today in the years ahead. You could probably accomplish all the goals that you can set for yourself. Here's an interesting discovery. It's not possible for you to set a goal, to write it down, and to make a plan for its accomplishment without your having simultaneously the ability to achieve it in some way, somehow, through some method. Your ability to select your most important task and then to work on it single-mindedly without diversion or distraction will double and triple and even 5 times the quality and quantity of your output, your productivity, and eventually your income. This is one of the most powerful of all time management techniques. This means that when you start with a task, you don't do anything else until that task is complete. Once you develop the habit of completing your tasks, you will earn 2 and 3 and even 5 times as much as other people. Now here's an interesting discovery. Self-esteem comes from task completion. Whenever you start and finish a task, it gives you a burst of endorphin. You feel like a winner. You feel happy. You have more energy and more motivation. Task completion motivates you to complete more tasks. And the bigger the task that you complete, the happier you feel and the more motivated you are to complete even bigger tasks. This is one of the great secrets of success known by top people. How do you practice visualization? You create clear, vivid, exciting, emotional pictures of your goals as if they were already a reality. See your goal as if it were already achieved. Imagine yourself enjoying the accomplishment of the goal. If it's a car, imagine yourself driving this car. In fact, go down and test drive the perfect car for you. Get a feeling for it, smell it. Take a picture next to it. Take a picture of yourself being in the driver's seat of the car that you want to own and look at that picture on a regular basis. If it's a vacation that you want, see yourself on the vacation already. Get pictures from the brochure. Put the pictures around your house. If it's a beautiful home that you want, see yourself living in a beautiful home. Here's one of the great characteristics or techniques of getting a beautiful home is start going to open houses in expensive neighborhoods. My wife and I started doing this when we were young with very little money. And within a couple of years, we were in a beautiful home and then another beautiful home. When you walk through beautiful homes that are for sale, you start to get an unconscious picture of a composite of the beautiful home that you want for yourself. And you start to attract into your life possibilities to achieve that home. What we attracted was opportunities to earn more money so that within a couple of years we could afford the home that we were visualizing. Now, in visualizing, take a few moments to create the emotions that would accompany the successful achievement of your goal. We say, get the feeling. If you would be proud and happy, think and feel being proud and happy. Now, what we've learned is a mental picture combined with an emotion has an enormous impact on your subconscious and your superconscious mind. It activates the law of attraction. It draws into your life people and circumstances to make it possible. A picture combined with an emotion is electricity that sends out a force field of energy from you that attracts everything you need to make that picture a reality. Visualization is perhaps the most powerful faculty available to you to help you achieve your goals faster than you ever thought possible. When you use a combination of clear goals combined with visualization and emotionalization, you activate your superconscious mind. Your superconscious mind then solves every problem on the way to your goal. Your superconscious mind is perhaps the most powerful faculty that you have available to you, and it is activated by a clear goal for which you have a burning desire. Your superconscious mind activates the law of attraction and begins attracting into your life people and circumstances and ideas and resources that will help you to achieve your goals even faster. All successful people think on what? They think on paper. And they think on paper. All their expressions are on paper. They think with a pencil and a pen in their hand, and they keep writing and rewriting. So really important. Now the next step is I want you to write down the set priorities. What's the number one most important action you can take immediately to achieve your most important goal? If you could only do one thing and do it now and do it completely, which would be the most helpful in getting you started? And then ask the question again, what would be number 2? What would be number 3? Please write them down. Last question, and this is the key question of all, what one action are you going to take immediately to achieve your most important goal? And write it down in the present tense. I earn, I achieve, I commence, I begin, I do, whatever it happens to be, but write it as an action statement as opposed to a dangling statement. Identify the people whose help and cooperation you will require. You'll need the help and cooperation of your family if you're going to accomplish big goals. You'll need the help and cooperation of your boss. You'll need the help and cooperation of your customers and your bankers and your friends. You'll need the help and cooperation of lots of people. But identify the people whose help you, and then ask yourself this question, what's in it for them? W-I-I-F, them. And always start off by saying, what will I give them in order to get their support and cooperation? The average person who accomplishes very little always thinks in terms of how they can get something out of someone else. The top person thinks how they can give something to someone else to get them to want to help them. So always go with the reasons why it's to somebody else's advantage to help you. And it's amazing how much people will support you if there's a reason for them. So who's people, and of all these people, who's the most important person? Who's the most important person in your world whose help you will require in order to be successful? Is it your boss? Is it your major customer? Is it your banker? Is it your spouse? Interesting, there's an enormous amount of talk, which I think consider pablum talk, about how you always have to keep your life in balance all the time. Well, that's simply not true, because there are times in your life where you're going to have to work your head off in order to break out of the pack. Like the beginning of a marathon, with all those runners, you're going to have to run faster to get ahead. And so you're going to have to go to what is called a deliberate extreme. A deliberate extreme is where you're going to have to work far more days and hours than is normal in order for you to get a new business started, a new career started, a new product or service launched, or something else. If you're going to have to go through a deliberate extreme, then sit down with your spouse, your kids, and so on, and tell them, this is what I'm going to have to do in order to take full advantage of this opportunity. But if you'll bear with me, I'll make it up to you. And we find one of the primary reasons for negative emotions is frustrated expectations. In life, if what you will do is you will explain to people what's going on before they become angry and upset, if you will then tell them so that their expectations are consistent with reality, you'll eliminate most of your problems. Number 6 is make a plan. Make a plan. And the plans are very simple, because what you do is you just make a list. You start off with a list of everything you'll have to do. You already identified it. You know what the goal is. So you've broken the goal down into sub-deadlines. You've identified the knowledge you require, the obstacles you'll have to overcome, the people whose cooperation you require. Make a list of everything you'll have to do, and then organize the list, first of all, by sequence, which means what comes first. What do you have to do before you do something else? And then second of all, by priority, which is what is more important and what is less important. And once you have a list organized by sequence and priority, you have a plan. Now you have the 2 great requirements for winning. You have a goal and a plan. Now, does it take a little while to do this? Yes. But once you have the goal and the plan, the very act of completing them programs them into your subconscious mind. We, in our advanced coaching programs, we teach people to write down and create goals and plans. And then once they've done it all, 90 days later, they come back. I say, how many of you reviewed your goals and plans in the last 90 days? Most of them didn't do it. How many of you achieved your goals and plans? All of them. It was the most amazing darn thing, because
By writing them out, they've programmed them into their subconscious mind, which passes it off like a baton to the superconscious, which then works 24 hours a day to bring it into their lives. And the most remarkable coincidences occur. Things start to happen. The phone rings. People sit down next to you socially and give you advice. Your boss gives you opportunities. Doors open. You get intuitions and insights, the most phenomenal things, because you've programmed yourself with a goal and a plan. That's why people with goals and plans, according to the best research, accomplish 10 times as much as people without goals and plans. 1,000% more than people without. So write down what you want, make it clear so that the universe can help you get it. Emmett Fox, who I mentioned before, wrote a book many years ago called The Mental Equivalent. Actually, it wasn't even a book, it was a pamphlet. And this little pamphlet is one of the most profound pieces of writing in history. It's just unbelievable. And what it does is basically says is you have one responsibility to your universe, is to create within your mind the mental equivalent of what you would like to see on the outside. If you will do that, all the mental laws that we've talked about and many more that we haven't had a chance to go into will all work. Just like click, 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 they'll all work. And what you want will appear on the outside by the law of cause and effect, belief, expectation, attraction, correspondence, and so on. Your job is to give to the universe an absolutely crystal clear picture of the goal that you want, which you can only get by thinking it through and writing it down. So here's the exercise, and this is your homework exercise. Take a clean piece of paper when you get home, and this is the only test. This is a take-home test. This is a test to see how badly you really want to make next year a fabulous year. And so at the top of this page, write the word goals, and you're going to write down 10 goals. And these goals, you can write more than 10 if you like, but you must write a minimum of 10. These goals are 1-year goals, approximately. These are goals that you want to accomplish this year. Health, income, car, travel, fitness, and so on. You write them in the present tense as though a year has passed and you are reporting they've already been achieved. I drive such and such a car. I live in such and such a house. I weigh certain many pounds. I take such and such a vacation. I write down one of my goals is spend time with my family. The more often I write it down repeatedly, the more time I spend with my family. If it's an important goal, then, and you don't write it down, what happens is it gets shuffled aside. You write it and make it positive. Not I will lose weight, but I am a non-smoker, but I am weigh X number of pounds. Not I will quit smoking, but I am a non-smoker. So it's always a positive statement. And third of all, it's always personal. Every goal you ever write for the rest of your life begins with the word I, because you are the only person in the universe who can use the word I with regard to yourself, and you follow it with an action verb. I earn, I sell, I drive, I live in, I achieve, I accomplish, I acquire, I save. But always make it I plus an action verb. That's the way the subconscious mind accepts instructions. When this instruction comes in like that, it's immediately passed on to the superconscious. I have taken people through this exercise all over the world once, and I come back a year or 2 years later, and they say the same words in every language. You won't believe what's happened to me. I wrote down those goals, and I never looked at them again. You won't believe what's happened to me. You won't believe it. I found those goals in something a year later, and you won't believe what's happened to me. I've accomplished all the goals. I never looked at it again, because when you write down a goal, you activate 3 learning modalities. The visual, you can see it. The auditory, you sub-vocalize it, you say it to yourself. And the kinesthetic, you write it. And it goes straight into the subconscious mind, and it's passed along like one of those vacuum tubes for messages in old stores. It goes, boom, straight into the superconscious. You just go on with the rest of your life, and 24 hours a day, this great superconscious mind is working to bring the goal into your life. Okay, now you've got your list of goals. Here's my list right here. I do this all the time. Then you look at this list, and this is the kicker. You ask yourself, if you could wave a magic wand and achieve any one goal on this list. These are not your 1-year goals, but imagine you could have a special dispensation and wave a magic wand and you could have any one goal within 24 hours. Which one of these goals would have the greatest positive impact on your life? And you look at your list, and I can assure you that the right answer will jump out at you. Usually it's a financial goal, because if you achieve a financial goal, it'll have an impact on everything else. But sometimes it's a health goal, sometimes it's a business goal, sometimes it's a relationship goal. I had a guy who came into my course who had just been diagnosed with kidney disease. If he didn't get a kidney transplant, he was going to die. His previous session, his were all financial goals. Now, he needed a kidney. What do you think his number 1 goal was? Get a kidney. He wrote it down, made a plan, and somehow, some miracle happened. He jumped a line of 29,000 other people, and they got a kidney because he had a special blood type, and there was a kidney available, and the other recipient was too far away, and all the universe conspired together, and he had his kidney. And people said that's impossible. Many people die on waiting lists for organ transplants. He got his kidney. His major goal. That's all he thought about all the time. So once you have this goal, now this becomes your major definite purpose. This becomes the organizing principle of your life. This becomes the goal that is going to change your life, because now you begin to think about this goal all the time. When you get a chance, you sit down and you write this goal at the top of a page, and you set a deadline for the goal. And then you identify all the obstacles you'll have to remove in order to achieve the goal, all of the knowledge and skill you require to achieve the goal, the people whose help that you require. You make a plan, you organize the plan, and you work on the plan every day. When you get up in the morning, you think about the goal. When you go through the day, you think about the goal. Whenever something gets you off track, you stop living, think about the goal, because the goal is always inherently positive. When you think about the goal, you become happy. When you think about your goal, your self-esteem and your self-confidence goes up, and it's absolutely inevitable that you start to move toward the goal. And as you move toward the goal, you feel powerful. You feel like a winner. You feel like you're in control of your life, and your self-confidence goes up, and your self-esteem goes up. And as sure as God made little green apples, you will accomplish that goal. And when you accomplish that goal, you get this rush I was talking about that tells you, hey, I can do anything. I can do anything I put my mind to. And once you know you can do anything you put your mind to, your self-confidence will go through the roof. You'll set bigger goals, you put more zeros at the end of your goals, and you become unstoppable. So let me just wrap up by saying this. You have unlimited potential. You're living in the best country at the best time in all of human history. The possibilities for the future are the greatest that have ever existed for mankind right here in this country. There is nothing that you can't do if you put your mind to it. So one little problem, procrastinating. People say procrastination is what holds me back. It's taking the first step. But if you can overcome that, which is a learnable skill, you learn to procrastinate, by the way, by default. So what you do is you say, I'm going to overcome procrastination. And don't say I'm going to do it tomorrow or next week. I'm going to take a year. And by the end of the year, I'm going to be one of the best time managers and result getters in the world. Just give yourself a year and work on it every day. And I can promise you 3, 6, 9, 12 months from now, you're going to be a production powerhouse. You're going to be the most productive person in your industry. You're going to be getting so much done that people will just come around with cameras just to photograph you working. Next is determine the additional knowledge and skills that you will require. Then remember, to achieve a goal that you've never achieved before, you will have to develop skills that you've never had before. You'll have to do things that you've never done before. So what are they? And here's the great breakthrough thought that changed my life at the age of 23, is that all business skills are learnable. You can learn any skill you need to learn, whether it's prospecting, presenting, closing, hiring, borrowing money, building businesses, marketing. You can learn any skill you need to learn. They're all just learnable skills. They're just laying there. But can you learn them? Yes, you can learn anything. Can you learn to type? Yes, but not in one lesson. You have to type, and Mavis says, type 30 minutes every day. Take one lesson a day for 30 minutes every day. So I did. And in 90 days, you touch typing, and your whole world of access to all the information in the world has changed. I've now written 52 books. People say, how can you write so many books? I have a method of writing books, but if I couldn't type, I wouldn't be able to write 52 books. I've sold maybe 10 million copies in 56 countries and 38 languages. Imagine that. Poor boy from the sticks. So I just grew up on the farm, because I've never been near a farm. But the point is that you can learn this stuff. And determine, especially here's the question, ask yourself, what one skill, if I was absolutely excellent at it, would help me the most to achieve my goal? What one skill? And this is one of the greatest questions of all. This is the life changer for me. What one skill? What one skill? Imagine we could wave a magic wand, and in 24 hours, you would be absolutely excellent at any one skill in your entire world. Imagine you could take a magic pill or wave a magic wand or buy a hypnotic program and play it all night, and the next morning you'd wake up and you'd be absolutely excellent at any one skill. What one skill would have the greatest positive impact on your life? What one skill would help you the most to achieve your most important goals? If you don't know the answer to this question, you have to find it out. You have to find it out, because the lack of this skill is holding you back more than anything else. Here's a discovery, and this discovery
Again, 10 years of research by the head of Martin Marietta Corporation. What he found was that your weakest key skill sets the height on your success. Your weakest key skill determines the height of your income.
So go out there and kick some butt and take some names.